Everyone, this is Dr. Eric Fields, the psychologist turned weight loss coach. If you have been struggling with weight loss for a really long time, then I'm going to tell you the number one reason why that is the case. This is also the number one reason why you are different from people who do not struggle with weight loss issues or do not struggle with weight, period. The number one reason is you are food obsessed. This is a main difference between people like us and other people that don't ever seem to struggle with their weight, whether they're thin or average weight, or maybe even a little overweight, but it doesn't bother them. It's just not an issue, right? Because at the end of the day, it's only an issue if you think it's an issue. And the large majority of people that want to lose weight and can't, or have a lot of difficulty doing so, or lose the weight, but then regain it, this is the main issue: food obsession. People that don't struggle with their weight do not think nearly as much about food as we do. They just don't. We are constantly thinking about food. When we're eating, sometimes we'll be thinking about the actual meal, but more often than not, we think about food when we're not eating. And that is really ironic because shouldn't we be thinking about the food that we're actually eating as opposed to thinking about the food when we're not eating? But that's exactly what we do. We think about how much longer to my next meal? What am I going to have for my next meal? Can I make it to my next meal? Should I be eating now? When did I eat last? What should I be eating? Was the meal big enough before? Do I feel hungry now? I don't know what else to do. Maybe I should eat. Huh, I'm feeling kind of bored. Maybe I should see what's in the refrigerator. No, I shouldn't do that. I don't want to eat right now. That's against my goals. I'm full, right? And we do this back and forth throughout the day. Then we say, that's it. I am going to go on a diet. And the diet we put ourselves on is super restrictive. Guess what happens then? It only makes us think more about food. Gosh, this diet's really tough. I don't know if I can last to the next meal. I don't know if I can keep doing this every single day. I'm really hungry on this diet. This diet, I'm so tired of eating the same kind of food. And I don't get to enjoy any of the food that I like. Well, that really stinks. I really miss having fill in the blank. This is just not the type of struggle that people have who do not have weight loss issues. This is the hallmark of our struggle. A person that doesn't have the kinds of weight loss challenges that we have, if they gain some extra weight, whether it be that week, that month, etc., it's very simple for them. They just cut back on their eating and voila. And in fact, many of them do it automatically. almost subconsciously throughout any given day, they make these adjustments. They ate an extra big breakfast, they cut back a little on lunch or dinner, et cetera, et cetera. They eat a lot on the weekend, they cut back during the week. But for us, it seems so much more effortful. And here's the thing, it is going to be effortful at first until you learn the skills and strategies to really gain control over food. Because when you are obsessed, you are not in control. I can't think of any obsession that is healthy. Being obsessed about another individual, being obsessed about sex, being obsessed about the internet or social media, being obsessed even about work, right? And why is this so unhealthy in general? Because it detracts from other activities. If we're so focused on food, we're not going to be focused on the other important areas in our lives. Other things get neglected. They have to. And the amount of time and energy that we spend thinking about food and every derivative of that, thinking about our weight, thinking about the next diet we should do, thinking about how badly we feel because we're overweight. I mean, all of these food related thoughts take a lot of time. And so you have to wonder, why are we so obsessed with food? Well, there are a number of reasons. One of the reasons is because we are overweight and we don't like being overweight and we're not in control. And this is an area that really bothers us. And so we tend to perseverate about it. It's like any area in our life where we're just not doing well in, we'll tend to ruminate about because it's a sucky feeling to not do well at an important area in our life, right? But what I think is the bigger reason is we are not being fulfilled the right way. The food obsession takes the place of us focusing on other important areas in our lives. Maybe as a defense mechanism. If I focus on these other areas in my life, I will see that I'm dissatisfied with certain aspects of them. And hence, that means I need to do something about that. And maybe I don't want to address that right now. Or it could simply have to do with us not really knowing what to do to fulfill us. Either way, this food obsession is serving a function, a psychological function, and we need to figure it out. So, blah, blah, blah. This all sounds great, right? But what do I do about it, Dr. Fields? So here's an idea that I have. It's a strategy. This idea may sound simplistic, but over time, I think that you are going to find that this is going to lead to mentally programming you mentally reprogramming you to not be so obsessed with food. And so, what you're going to do is every time you find yourself thinking about food, especially when you're not eating, I want you to first ask yourself, am I really hungry or not? Where's the evidence, right? Do I really feel hunger pangs in my stomach? How long ago did I eat? And you will come to a determination quickly enough as to whether or not you're truly hungry. And more times than not, you're going to find out that you're not really hungry. So then the next step is you are going to say, huh, so I'm obsessing about food then, right? Because if you're not really hungry and you're thinking about food, you're obsessing about it. So you're obsessing about food. Why am I obsessing about food? What do I really need right now? The food obsession, use it as a signal that something is missing right now at this point in your life. Maybe you're avoiding a work task, a home responsibility. Maybe there's something very engaging that fulfills you that you're not doing. Maybe there are different kinds of hobbies and interests you should be now doing during this time to fulfill yourself. Or maybe you just need to think a little bit about how to use this time more appropriately in a healthier way. What could I be doing now instead of just obsessing about food here? What do I need? This is the key phrase you should be asking yourself. What should I need? Because you know you don't need food. You already determined that you're not really hungry. And so you definitely don't need to be obsessing about food. We've already determined that an obsession is very unhealthy. So just use it as a signal that you need something. That's all. Huh, I'm having an inappropriate food craving. I need something now. I must need something. And I know it's not food. So what is it? If you do this habitually every day, challenging these food cravings and urges, challenging these obsessive thoughts, most importantly, and calling them out for what they are, eventually this trigger will change. Over time, you won't think of food to signal that something's not right. You will think of the actual thing that you're needing right then and there. Or at the very least, you'll think, huh, I'm not really fulfilled right now. I feel like there should be something that I'm doing that I'm not. It's reprogramming your mind. This is Dr. Fields. Try this strategy out. Let me know how it works for you. This is the root of our problem, folks. When you get to a place where you're no longer obsessing about food, any diet can work for you. Any nutritious meal plan can work for you. Weight loss can be so easy. Can you imagine not obsessing about food? Just think about that for a minute. Think about not obsessing about food anymore and now trying to go on a diet or now trying to go on a weight loss plan. Could you imagine? Don't you see how much easier it could be if you weren't obsessing about food? Why do you think diets or weight loss plans are so difficult for us? Because all we do is think about how hard this is and when my next meal is going to come and oh, I'm not getting enough food and I feel deprived and this is so difficult. Food, food, food. When you get rid of this obsession, losing weight will be like that. It will be just as easy for you as it is for people that don't have long-standing weight loss challenges. This is Dr. Fields. I hope this was helpful. I'll talk to you all soon.